Part 4, the practice of Dava Gyansen, which is, we started with vision is a mind is empty, emptiness is clear light is union. And part 4 is, so that clear light is union. That is like an answer, but the question is, what is clear light? And in our experience was working with the fear and the pains and emotions related with the fear. We looked at the object of the fear. We couldn't find anything. That is our vision. So we just realized it's just the mind is only left. Part 1 and part 2 we look at what is the mind. We look at it closely. We couldn't find anything with the mind. Mind is just empty. And part 3 we look at, so what is then emptiness? Or emptiness is not just emptiness, it's not just nothing, it's just a full of life, awareness. Emptiness is clear light. And then part 4, what is that clear light? The answer is clear light is union. So if you look at this line, clear light is union, so there's a two word, clear and light. Clear referring to emptiness, openness. Light referring to awareness, luminosity. And these two are not a separate quality, neither they are two separate experience. It's just one experience. It's like a wisdom, single wisdom, a single sphere of totality. And it's very important to understand that, because many times in our experiences, either you fall into nihilist or you fall into eternalist, as many doctrines do that. As many meditator, when you practice, you do that. I give a simple example. If you are meditating, abiding in the nature of mind, abiding in that inner space, there's two possible obstacles can happen. One, you fall into nihilist. What does that mean? That means you feel empty, and that emptiness produces dullness, it produces a lack of life force, awareness, and it puts you into sleep. That's one possible. So that's like you're falling into nihilist. Or the other possibility is the moment you sit in the nature of mind, the moment you sit in a meditation of emptiness, you become most creative individual. All the work comes up, your creativity comes up, your thoughts comes up, all the emotions comes up. Just basically mind becomes active than before. Why? When you're supposed to rest, why mind becomes so active? Simply because it does not have the experiences of that space. It does not have connection to that base. It does not have that connection to that mother, inner essence. Therefore, it is facing with all these uninvited thoughts and emotions. That is simply happens all the time in our experience. So therefore, that is exactly the reason why it says clear light is union. Clear light is union. So not only philosophically they are union or inseparable, but experientially that is how one should experience. So in these stages of development of our practices with the fivefold teaching of Dava Gyansen, we arrive fourth stage of experience, where when we sit in that inner space, we need to have a complete balance of that openness and awareness of that emptiness and that clarity. So inseparable state of that emptiness and clarity, it's very important. So very briefly, when you're looking objects of your fear, the visions, you don't see anything. Then you look at who is looking, you look at the subject of ego, you don't find anything. Then you look who is observing, there's nothing either. So you experience a full spaciousness internally. There's full spaciousness. And you are fully aware of that. And that awareness is no different from that openness. That openness is not different from that awareness. There is no separation. It's inseparable state. And you rest in that inseparable state without elaborating, without analyzing, judging, anything. Just simply you rest in that inseparable state of openness and awareness. Whenever visions are coming, you work with this, like part one's practice, you watch the vision. Whenever the subject is kind of taking it over, you ask with the part two practice, what is a mind? And then mind will dissolve, then the object will dissolve, and it will bring you back into that same open awareness, inseparable state of that openness and awareness. Just simply rest in there. As I said earlier, rest for 5 minutes. If you're used to sitting in a practice for a longer time, rest for half an hour, 1 hour. But always remember that sitting short and clear, it's better than sitting long and dull. And it's important to become familiar with that clear state. Because imagine in our ordinary life how much time we dwell into that stories of fear, that emotions of fear. How many hours? Consciously, unconsciously, times when we are aware of it, times when we are not even aware of it, but we're still able to dwell into it. So ability to change habit from that place to resting in that pure inseparable state of openness and awareness, it will require some time and familiarity. So anyway, the bottom line here is just simply trying to rest in that inseparable state of openness and awareness as clear and as long as you can, and repeat that and trying to become more familiar with that as much as possible.